Hello, folks. This is Dr. Mike, and again, I'm here to tell you about our MedXPRO Summit. Now, MedXPRO Summit starts this Friday, December 1st. It runs through December 3rd, and the MedXPRO Summit is all about helping you, the medical exercise specialist, post-rehab conditioning specialist, medical exercise program director, corrective exercise specialist, medical professional, any and everyone that wants to build a medical exercise training practice. We're all about helping you build a successful, profitable, and a sustainable medical exercise training practice. So today I have with me a very good friend, longtime friend, Phil Godfrey. Phil, how long have we known each other now? It's about, what, maybe 10 years?
Since around 2010.
2010, okay.
So I've been going on 8.
Yeah. Now, Phil is the owner of Medical Exercise Training. I should say co-owner of Medical Exercise Trainers. And folks, this gentleman and his partner are very unique. They have a multi-regional medical exercise training practice. They have an office in Washington, D.C. His partner is Don Allen. We'll interview him later. And Phil is in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, he's a good old Georgia Bulldog. I'm a Carolina Gamecock. So we got a little bit of conflict going on here. But he's a great medical exercise specialist. They built a very, very strong program in D.C. and Atlanta. And he's educated a lot of medical exercise specialists that are staff members. So Phil is going to tell us a little bit about medical exercise trainers. He's also going to talk a little bit about the MedXPRO Summit. And this year, Phil will be one of our presenters at the summit. So we try to get people in who've actually gone out there and built practices from the ground up to tell you what it's really like. So Phil, tell us a little bit about medical exercise trainers. I'll ask you about the summit in a few moments, but also thank you for joining us. I know you're in the middle of your workday, so thank you for joining us.
It's always a pleasure, Mike. Our parent company, Healthcare Fitness Integrations, I started back in 2010 and contracted in a PT practice. And even before that, and this is sort of how Don and I met, we were in the club setting, and this is where and Mike had came down. I had found Mike on the internet, and you had came in, and we had talked about. I was actually working on setting an entire department up for a small chain of clubs, and all that sort of fell through with the. And I can get in. I'm going to get into some of that in my presentation because there's some pitfalls in the club setting, but. Long story short, we started. I started over with a physical therapist who was starting his practice. Allowed me to come on as a subcontractor. Then around 2012, we started using the trademark medical exercise trainers, and then Don in 2013 became my partner, and we were able to open our own independent location at that point. And since then, we've gotten our own. We moved out of a cohabitated space. Large one, into our own practice space a couple of years after that. And then here we are today. We've expanded our space in DC because we're growing there. And I've came down to back to Georgia, as Mike had mentioned. And I don't know what the conflict is between considering we're going to the title game. I don't see any conflict.
This weekend we're going to have a little bit of a problem because Georgia is playing in the SEC championship game on Saturday. And you're going to have to hear about that. Ignore that. That's not a big deal.
But back to
but please.
But now we're as Mike had mentioned, we're operating in multi-state operation now, and we're serving. Overall, we're really serving probably, I'm guessing, 4 states now because of having our DC and being down in Georgia, and it's different. It's interesting being in multiple markets because the population sort of are a little different. And I'll get into some of that whenever I do my presentation. But it's definitely been a interesting journey, and we expect to grow and grow with the other MESs across the U.S. and North America and abroad. And as far as the going into the presentation part. What I want to talk about is how do you set that up in any setting. Now, I have been in pretty much every setting providing MET services, but probably except for the physician setting. But even then, these same principles will apply if you go into a physician's office as well. But I'll get it.
And Phil, forgive me, because one of the big things I know that you really see as a challenge is getting more of our MESs out of the club setting into their own independent practices. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Okay. I think that's imperative for the growth of the individual practitioner and overall as a new profession of practitioners. we need to get some more sole proprietors or even partnerships like Don and I work well. It's a good way to, combine your resources to launch yourself, as long as you all have the same vision. But I think that's imperative for the growth of everybody. Now, there's still going to be situations, and there may be club owners out there who, like Stan in Tennessee, who we met a couple years ago. This is back what Mike was talking about us actually coming to the summit, or getting in touch with those who've been to the summit. That network, and forgive me, what was Stan's last name?
Johnston. He's from
Stan Johnson. He's in Tennessee.
Bristol, Tennessee. He's a Vols fan too.
Oh yeah, he's got more problems than we do. But anyway, anyways, met Stan, and I've met many others, and so has Don. And when we were able to come in a couple of years ago on the business side, last time we came in, it was about skills, and that's very important too. They go hand in hand. You can't run your business if you don't have the skills to get the outcomes, because it ain't gonna last very long if you don't have outcomes.
That is true.
But we met good people like Stan, and that he has his own facility, so it can work in the club setting. But you may find some issues with differences of vision, is all I'm saying, and I'll go into that more.
So now, folks, Phil is going to be one of our presenters. His partner Don will be a presenter also. I've known these gentlemen for a number of years. I've watched them evolve their practice, and it's done exceptionally well. I was at your location in Washington, D.C. 3 or 4 weeks ago. I see the expansion that you've done there. I remember where you guys started, and watching these gentlemen has been a great blessing to me, watching them take this information and go out there and use it. So if you're a medical exercise specialist, postgrad conditioning specialist, medical exercise program director, or you're a medical exercise professional from any other organization, you might want to check us out at MedXPROsummit.com. Now, these folks are going to come in like Phil and Don and others. They're going to tell you exactly what they did to build their practices. You can become part of our MedXPRO network, which is even a greater networking and community opportunity. But these are the people that we're going to have coming in speaking for us over the weekend, and I think it'll be great. So again, it's December 1st and 3rd. If you can't make it down to Houston, you can certainly do it remotely from your home. We will have a live web broadcast, as we're doing here, utilizing Zoom. And I just want to take a chance to say, Phil, thank you for all the great work you've done. Thank you for all the support over the last several years. And thank you for the great job you're doing with medical exercise trainers. They've done a fantastic job building a great practice. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike, for all that you've done.
Yeah. And now Phil, as I say, will be one of our presenters. Go over to MedXPROsummit.com. Get registered. We start on Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you then. Phil, again, all the best to you. Give Daphne my best. Tell Winston I said hi. And I'm going to say something. It's going to be on the record, on video. Go Dogs. I want to see you guys win.
Thank you.
Okay, man. Take care. I'll see you this weekend. Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.